outside of your Coast Guard life and your Coast Guard work, did you own and carry firearms?
Yes.
Did you ever have to use those firearms before for protection?
Yes, I have.
All right, can you tell me about that?
One time.
Protection, relevancy.
It's relevant because he is carrying a gun in this case. He is carrying a gun, I believe, through this testimony will establish why. And the fact that he's had experiences with having to do this before informs him and informs the decisions that he makes as a person under these circumstances. So the fact that he's been in situations where he's had to use his gun to protect himself before informs his decisions on also February 23rd.
Relevance
Yeah, it's
to
sustained.
what he did under these circumstances.
You're
The
talking about
jury's-
something. You're talking about something he was doing in the Coast Guard.
No, I'm talking about him as a private citizen where he's been out with a firearm, carrying a firearm before, where he's had to use it to protect himself.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you could take a step into the jury room, please.
It's all right for the jury. Please be seated.
All right. I was following it as part of his Coast Guard training and experience. You're talking about something different?
Yeah, I transitioned, Judge. You may not have heard me. I said, all right, now I want to talk about outside of the Coast Guard, not law enforcement Coast Guard, but you just in your regular life outside of Coast Guard. You own a firearm, you carry firearms, and have you ever had to use a firearm to protect yourself before? Outside of the Coast Guard, meaning just as a regular citizen.
Is it ever reported or, I mean,
Was it
give me a
reported?
proffer.
Oh, he will testify that he's had two circumstances where a person has come up to him, one at an ATM, where he had to go towards his gun and it had the effect that he wanted on the person. They ran away, it deterred them. And the second, he was sitting in his car and a gentleman tried to carjack him and he had to retrieve his gun and take it out and it deterred the person and the person ran away. This has now then informed him of how using his gun can de-escalate situations in his private citizen life as well, and that it can have that effect that ultimately, can de-escalate the situation and protect himself.
From the state?
Well, neither of these instances involved the victim in this particular case. The fact that some guy came up to him at the ATM and I'm not clear on what he did with his gun, pointed it at this person or did something else, and being carjacked, I'm unaware of any police report where he reported he'd been carjacked at all. So I'm not sure if there's a 911 call here that we don't have access to or some police report that we've not been given regarding this. The state is unaware of both of these instances. And it's not really relevant to the reasonableness analysis that the jurors are going to have to make as far as. So in the past, when I've been robbed at an ATM or carjacked by someone, I defended myself with my handgun. So it's okay for me to pull a handgun out while I'm trying to force compliance for someone to talk to me? They're totally not equal on any level whatsoever. So I'm not sure about the relevance or how it comes into play in this case.
Well, it sounds like it's something that may be addressed on cross-examination. I'll go ahead and permit it.
Okay.
Go ahead. I'm sorry, we can go get the panel. Thank you. you, ladies and gentlemen. We are ready to get back to the evidence. Mr. Sheffield.
Yes, thank you. We were talking a little bit about now moving away from Coast Guard duty and just being a citizen here. Do you own firearms?
I do.
Okay. Have you ever been in a situation where you had to use your personal firearm to protect yourself?
I have.
Okay. Oh, Travis, yeah, put that.
Thank you. Sorry.
Can you tell us a little bit about the circumstances of the first time?
Yes. So I was living in Pascagoula, Mississippi. I was stationed in Mississippi at the time. It was 2008 to 2012. I believe it was 2008 when it happened. Pascagoula got destroyed by Katrina, so there's a bunch of vacant lots and everything. One of them was a bank, and the bank was gone, but they had the ATM machine still in the vacant lot. It's next to the gas station. Coming through to get cash for, I think it was for the lunch for the station. I pull in, I see two younger males next to the side. Thought it was a little weird that they're paying attention to me and been paying attention to people going in and out near there. So I stepped out of the truck and went to the ATM. As soon as I went to the ATM.
Let me stop you. Did you have a gun on you at the time?
I did.
What kind of gun was it?
It was a 1911 U.S. Army service pistol.
Did you have a permit or a license to carry?
Yes, I had a concealed carry permit, and it was a concealed weapon.
Okay.
Everything.
All right, so you're at the ATM. What happened?
Yep, and as soon as I put my card in, the two males approached on either side. One of them told me to give me his money. All I did was pull up my shirt and showed that I had a weapon, and they turned and jumped the fence and was gone.
Okay.
I pulled the money out and went to work.
Okay. Did you call the police or report it?
I didn't call the police on that.
Okay.
'Cause that was it.
All right. What is the second time that you had to use your gun? I say use your gun. That time you didn't really have to use it, just showed it.
No, I just
Okay.
showed it. The second one was in Pascagoula as well. It was in 2011. And I was going into work. We had a high value asset coming in. So I was coming in at 8 o'clock. And road I was coming in on it was destroyed by Katrina. It was real dark. Everything was, it was the industrial side of town. And was stopped at a red light, had the windows down in the truck. And sitting at the red light, listening to the music on the radio, somebody came to the passenger door and popped the lock and was opening the door on me.
Let me stop you. Popping the lock meaning was the window down?
The window was down, he just popped it. It was a
Okay.
GMC, so it was right there. He popped it open.
All right.
And opened the door and started yelling. I was getting in the truck. So,
What you said he started yelling.
yes, I don't know what he was saying, but it was, he was yelling.
Okay.
And so I had the pistol between I had a holster between my seats, and I pulled the pistol out and pointed at him, told him to get out of my truck. He got out and ran off. Got to the station, and we had 3 reservists that were actually with the police department there. Told them about it, and I believe we had a report made on it.
Okay. All right. All right. I want to focus your attention back to Satilla Shores.
Okay.
Was there ever a time that you yourself tried to figure out if any particular person was involved in some of the crime that had been happening over that summer in 2019?
Yes.
Okay. Can you tell us a little bit about that circumstance?
Yeah, so around, I believe it was July, 1st of July, my neighbor at the time, Kim Ballesteros, she had her purse stolen, or told us that her purse stolen out of her vehicle. And so we neighbors talked about it. Yeah, this is, something else has happened. A few days later, a week or so later, I was coming back from a fishing trip. I have a boat doing charters on the side, and I was actually coming back to my house with some clients on Fancy Bluff Creek. Do you have a?
I do have a map here.
Yeah, so-
I kind of have this up already. Fancy Bluff Creek.
Yep, under the bridge, the
Yeah.
Highway 17 bridge. Yep, we got under there.
I'm just going to pull this back too. The state has a similar exhibit that they've used, this being the Google Earth image.
Okay. So, yes, I was coming from the north and coming back down towards, till Fancy Bluff to
You were where?
where your finger is?
On the water.
On the water,
Okay.
in my boat, yes.
Okay.
And got under the bridge and saw bunch of trash, tarps and there's an old tackle box down there and just a bunch of trash under the bridge. So this looks like a homeless camp. And it's very close to the neighborhood. There's a trail that goes to it, actually. Drove on by and started thinking that neighbor just had purse stolen, so let me check this out. This might be this homeless person, or if there is homeless people in there, these might be the ones going into the neighborhood. So got home, finished with the
So
client.
let me stop you there. When you say you got home, we don't see it on this map here, but does this connect coming up around over onto this side?
It does, yes. Fancy Bluff Creek joins Little Satilla south of the neighborhood.
Okay. So you boated around back to your dock?
Yes,
Okay,
yes.
go ahead.
So got back, finished with the clients, and told my father that, hey, looks like there's a homeless camp under the bridge. You know, this purse was just stolen. I want to go see if there's anybody down there. I said, I'll join you. So we get in my truck. I carry a weapon everywhere. I got a concealed weapon, so I was armed. Not sure if my dad was or not. There was a trail. First, we tried on the neighborhood side of the road.
All right, so that being this side over here,
It probably, if you look at the
was there any
satellite?
access point to drive over here?
There's a power line that parallels the highway between the neighborhood and the highway. It's an overgrown road, or it's an overgrown field.
Okay,
We couldn't get to it from there. These rocks and stuff is just too bad. So I drove across Highway 17 onto Fancy Bluff Road,
okay.
and then there's a little four-wheeler trail.
So Satilla Drive comes across 17.
It does.
Is that Fancy Bluff up here?
I believe it is.
Okay,
I believe it is.
all right.
And then there's a wooded lot right directly across, and there's a four-wheeler trail that parallels the highway there.
Okay. What did you do?
So me and Dad walked down the four-wheeler trail. He's behind me, and it goes down, kind of meanders around a couple of trees, and it gets to the creek, makes a right, and it goes under the bridge. So I turn, go down the bridge. I don't see anybody, and then get under the northbound lane and see someone fishing right at the bank. And he had a machete, I guess, a real long knife. It wasn't a fillet knife, it was like a machete right next to him. He doesn't see me. I walk on, but get between him and the knife, and
All right,
then
let me stop you there.
Mhm.
As you're doing this, you're going down there with your sidearm. How is it that you feel comfortable going down there to inspect this situation?
I didn't see any threat. There was no threat. Yeah, I didn't see anybody down there, and if I did, then I would talk to him, just
All right.
talk to him.
So what happened?
So I get to him, I get between him and his knife.
Why'd you do that?
For safety,
Okay.
just for safety. And then talked to him, I said, how you doing? And he's a friendly guy. And I asked him if he's living down the bridge. He told us that he wasn't. He told us that he was living on a road off of Fancy Bluff Road in the neighborhood. I don't remember what the road was. And I told him, I said, straight up, there's a bunch of stuff being stolen in this neighborhood. I'm seeing if there's anything down here. He said, no, I haven't seen anything. Okay. We looked around. I think my dad looked at some of the tarps. He said it wasn't his stuff. I'm certain that he was living under that bridge. We didn't see anything. We
When you
left.
say you didn't see anything, what were you looking for?
I was just looking for if there was any purses or if there was any equipment, anything that obviously would, if you see boat motors or tackle boxes or, anything, purses, anything that's just,
Okay.
it would be odd. I mean, I wouldn't pick it up and take it. What we did as soon as we left, my dad called the non-emergency number and informed the police. They were aware, obviously, of what's been going on in the neighborhood and told them, hey, there's a homeless person on this bridge. Check it out for us.
All right, I'm gonna stop you there. And just to be sure we're on the same page.
Good Brunswick Communications
147.
Operator 924, how may I assist you?
Hey, this is Travis McMichael. I'm the retired chief investigator with the DA's office. Is there anybody, supervisor available I might be able to speak to?
Sure, just a moment.
And are you talking the dispatch supervisor or police supervisor?
Police supervisor, yeah. Anybody on duty be fine.
Okay.
I wanted to make them aware.
Okay, and all right, and what was your name?
Greg McMichael.
Okay, and a contact number for you?
912-217-1726. They can call me back if
Okay, and your address, sir?
230 Satilla Drive. We've had a lot of break-ins in this area out here, automobile break-ins. And my son and I just discovered a guy. We think he may be living under the Bluff Creek Bridge on 17.
This is the call.
Yes.
Okay. Did you discuss this finding of sorts, this person that you thought living under the bridge, did you discuss it with anybody else in the neighborhood?
I did.
Who did you discuss with, if you can remember?
I know Randy Parr, my direct neighbor. I'm sure I've spoken to Matt Albenzi when he'd stopped by. And then there's another guy down the road, older fella. I cannot remember his name.
Okay,
But
all right. Do you know whether or not the subject of someone living under the Fancy Bluff Bridge, being a suspect of things happening in the neighborhood, whether that subject came up anymore over the course of the next 5 or 6 months?
yeah, there was people, it was always there, it was always in the back of people's mind, or if something happened, you would see it on the Facebook neighborhood page of, the homeless person. There's been a homeless person around. That was, from that moment forward, people knew that there was a homeless person under that bridge. So.
Okay. All right, now I want to ask you about 220 Satilla Drive.
Okay.
All right. Did you ever hear anything about thefts or things being stolen from 220?
I did.
When did you hear that?
The first was from my mother,
Okay.
and then she heard it from someone or saw it on Facebook and told it to me. And then I started seeing it on the Facebook page.
Okay. Did you speak to anybody other than your mother?
At first, no.
Okay. Did you ever talk to Diego Perez about it?
No, no.